Well, I hope you guys are in the mood for some bizarre coincidences and connections and what some people call predictive programming, what some people call sync, because in this presentation, I'm going to show you a bunch of things that probably you never connected before, and maybe by the end of this you'll still say, JLB, I don't think those things are connected, I think it's all in your head, which maybe it is. Maybe it is, you be the judge, but this is not a video for people who are just looking to pass the time mindlessly, because what you're about to see, I think, for some people, will connect some dots that will put together a picture. They'll say, hold on, there is something going on here. So it's John Le Bon coming to you, beautiful Plovdiv, Bulgaria, October 11, 2024. On your screen is 5 images that I've put together, and you probably know what all of them are. We're going to look at why I think these are significant. Then we're going to go through some information to do with when certain things happened. We'll talk about the creepy clown thing that happened back in 2016. And we'll talk about Robert De Niro. We'll talk about Joker. We'll talk about Folie à Deux. We'll talk about Home Alone and the cameo that Donald Trump made in that film. And then at the end, I've got a little surprise for you as well. So stay tuned for that. But let's get back to this. So all 5 of these I'm sure you are familiar with. Top left, we've got Joaquin Phoenix as the Joker, and he's talking with Robert De Niro, and we all know what's about to happen to him, don't we? Now, this film made $1 billion at the box office, so they say, 5 years ago when it was released. Now, the bottom center, we've got a scene from Folie à Deux. Now, you might be wondering, why is Donald Trump in clown makeup here, JB? Why would you put that there? I'm not anti-Trump or pro-Trump, okay? This is not about a political thing. I'm not here to say anything about that. But I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but this guy over here, Robert De Niro, has been calling Trump a clown, and I'll show you evidence of this in just a moment. Now, here we've got Lady Gaga, Bad Romance. Would you believe that that was the first single released from her album, The Fame Monster? So the first question I want to ask you is, why do you think they chose Lady Gaga for this role? Other than the fact that she's obviously very well known, she's a very talented singer and musician. And I've heard people say, oh, she's not a good musician, JLB. I think she is, actually. She can play piano and she can sing without auto-tune. I think she's very talented. And some would say she's very pretty. So maybe they just chose her because she is famous, talented, good-looking. Maybe. Or maybe there's another reason. Do you think it's just a coincidence that her Fame Monster album, this breakthrough album, there was a reissue of The Fame. You get the idea. But they reissued it a year later called The Fame Monster. And the lead single was Bad Romance. Now, of course, in this film, and it's not a spoiler, but you get the idea, there's a very good chance these two are going to have a bad romance. So my first question is, do you think that's a coincidence? Because to most people, yeah. Most people will say, I don't think that Todd Phillips, whatever his name is, and the other people, they're like, we need to choose a female lead or a female co-star. Let's find someone who has sung a song about a bad romance as a lead single from a breakthrough album. Oh, guess what? Lady Gaga had... Oh, do you think they did that? Most people would say no. They chose her for other reasons. It just so happens that on The Fame Monster, the lead single is Bad Romance, which will be one of the center points of the film that she is going to star in with Joaquin Phoenix. Now, at this point, you might be like, JLB, you've lost me already, which maybe I have, but just keep paying attention. Bear with me here, folks. What I'm getting at here is that sometimes things happen that are convenient, and it might even look like some kind of genius scripting, but it's not the way that we might perceive it. That's the simple point I'm trying to make. Some people will think, yes, they chose her because of Bad Romance of The Fame Monster. Other people will say, no, that's just a happy coincidence, something like this. The point is, I've got your mind thinking now about coincidence or intentionality and why do these things happen. That's what I wanted to do with this first frame. And again, going back to this Trump thing, this guy here, Robert De Niro, has been calling Trump a clown. Now, let's move on. By the way, if you are a member of johnlebon.com, I published this a couple of days ago, Clowns on Trial. This is my 1-hour review of Folie à Deux. I will link to that in the show notes below. Now, let's get on with this. If you were to search on a Google Trends for the term clown, going right back to 2004, when was the peak of the searches for clown? Believe it or not, it was in October 2016. Okay, you with me? October 2016 was the highest level of searches for the term clown. Now, if you look into this for yourself, you'll find out that every October, the searches for clown goes up. Most likely to do with Halloween. But in 2016 is when there was a huge surge in interest in the search of the term clown. Okay, JLB, who cares? Well, next, let's look at predictive programming. In all the years that people have been looking into this term, predictive programming, when was the highest relative search term for predictive programming? Well, let's take a look. It says here that it was November 2016. Now, what happened in November of 2016? Of course, Donald Trump was elected to be the president of the United States of America. So in other words, just a few weeks after people started searching for this term clown, why is everyone looking for the term clown? Just a few weeks after that, Trump was elected president of the United States of America. And in that same month, for some reason, was it a coincidence or are these things connected? Again, I ask the questions, you give me the answers. People were searching for the term predictive programming. Okay, now why might that be? Let me play you a little clip. This comes to us from ABC Action News back in the late September of 2016. Let's take a look at this.
Now to the creepy clown sighting in Largo. Today, the Now's Nicole Grigg tracked down the mother of the teenage girl who claims she was chased by someone in a clown costume. Something being reported in several cities across the country right now. Now local law enforcement, they're emphasizing there is nothing to laugh about.
About no laughing matter.
Wednesday morning, Shakita Elliott got a call from her daughter.
She says, "Oh my God, Mom, I just was chased by clowns."
Today, her mother met us near the bus stop off Trotter Road in Largo where it happened.
They seen something in the bushes.
Those bushes were right by this small ditch, and that's where they say the creepy clown came from. There's no video or pictures, though, because she says it caught her 14-year-old off guard.
Came out, so they started running.
It's what happened next, though, that took it too far.
Clown popped back out and chased them again, and that's when she fell.
Authorities tell us this wasn't just a person with a mask, but the clown was decked out in a yellow suit and polka dots, red clown shoes, and a white mask with yellow eyes and red hair. Something similar to a costume like this. And this sighting is just 1 week after this clown was caught on video along a dirt road in Ocala.
The clowns are coming.
Pinellas County Sheriff's Office tells us sightings in other states have been fake.
Okay, so end of September 2016, you're with me. There are these news stories of these clowns. Let's take a look at just one more of these, just to emphasize the point. End of September 2016 again, we have another creepy clown sighting. Ooh.
All right, happening right now, creepy clown at a bus stop in Pinellas County.
And a Largo mom going on Facebook warning friends that her daughter saw a clown at her bus stop. The sheriff's office is now looking into it. So the Now's Nicole Grigg is explaining real or fake these sort of clown sightings. Are they really making people nervous?
That's an excellent question, real or fake. So did this creepy clown phenomenon happen in real life, or was it just a news story? What do you think? Was it a real phenomenon, a real fad, a contagion perhaps, where people were like, oh, I'll copy that. I'll be a copycat. I'll go and dress up as a clown and scare random people who are wondering, what the hell is this dude dressed as a clown? It's not even Halloween yet. This was the end of September. So there was another month to go until Halloween 2016. Why are these dudes walking around dressed like clowns? Well, one more thing about all of this. It was called, by some outlets, the Great Clown Panic of 2016, a volatile mix of fear and contagion. Contagion, you say. Now, November 2016, you with me? And this is the story. It's a very detailed story. And it goes, so I just showed you two news stories that are pretty much of the same sighting. But this one mentions a whole bunch of other sightings. So this wasn't just the television news, it was the print media, or in this case, does The Guardian still print a newspaper? It's an online newspaper, you know the idea. So you're with me. Back in September, and around that time, September, October 2016, there was supposedly people dressing up as clowns. And this was not long before the election of Donald Trump. Now at this point you might be thinking, okay JLB, okay, there were some clowns, people were searching for clowns, a couple of weeks later Trump gets elected, people are looking into predictive programming, but I'm not connecting the dots. Okay, I want to show you this short clip from a medley that I put together, and I'll link to this in the show notes below, the full video. I found all of these different examples, and I put them all together, of people referring to Donald Trump as a clown. Lots of people have been doing this for a long time. I found all of these different clips, I put them together. Took quite a while. But there's one person in particular who seems to enjoy calling Donald Trump a clown. Take a look at this.
He was a clown. He was a clown in New York.
They don't take him serious. He looks like a clown, acts like a clown. Mussolini, same thing. These guys, I don't know why, they look like clowns.
That's just a couple of examples from De Niro. There's others as well, talking about how Trump's a clown, he looks like a clown. Clown, 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 clown. Now let's go back to my handy-dandy put-together thing here. So Robert De Niro, who was one of the actors in Joker, billion-dollar major success film, he keeps on calling Trump a clown. He's a clown, blah, blah, blah. Of course, the original Joker was largely based on, or at least an homage to, Taxi Driver, in which Robert De Niro was an actor. So he's heavily involved in the first Joker, and he keeps calling Trump a clown. Clown this, clown that, clown, 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 blah, blah, blah. And we all know what happens next in this film after Arthur Fleck, aka the Joker, went on to this, what was his name, Murray something? He goes on the Murray show and he says, you'll get what you deserve, and pow pow. Okay, so let's get back to the presentation. I want to show you something else. Now, you might know that Trump has been in a number of films and TV shows doing little cameo pieces, including Home Alone 2. Have you gone back and looked at Home Alone 2, I ponder? I'm going to show you something here, and I want you to tell me in the comment section below if you think this is also just a coincidence, or do you think it is predictive programming, or do you think it is a synchronicity? Are you one of the people who believes in synchro-mysticism, I ponder? I want you to let me know in the comment section below. Let's take a look at this. Now, before we get to this, I'll remind you one more time. Just before Trump was elected, just before he was elected, and in an election where, to begin with, a lot of people said, they would never elect Trump. A lot of people said that. But he was elected. Just before that, was when a peak happened in the interest in clowns. Maybe the media was driving this. Maybe it was organic. I don't know. You tell me. But in October of 2016, you've got a massive surge in interest in this search for clown, the term clown. And when Trump got elected just a few weeks later, there was a surge in interest in predictive programming. So you can see that of all time, the most searches for clown, according to Google Trends, was just before Trump got elected. And then the month that he was elected was the highest search for predictive programming. So you can see how I find this an interesting so-called coincidence. Clown surges in interest. Then Trump gets elected and predictive programming surges in interest. So let's go back to this handy-dandy little screenshot-a-thon that I've put together for Home Alone. So I went back and watched Home Alone because Trump's in Home Alone, and I'm thinking, okay, we all know that he's in that section in the lobby or in the hotel, and then little Macaulay Culkin says, hey, where's the lobby? And he says, down the hallway and to the left. Down the hallway. Remember this scene in Home Alone? Just down the hallway and to the left, which to some people is kind of reminiscent of back and to the left. But we don't have time to get into that. Let's just take a look at this. So, at the beginning of the film, folks, 3 minutes into the film, the beginning of the film, Kevin, that is Macaulay Culkin, his mother says, can you guess what your grandmother sent you for Christmas? Right? Then Kevin replies, somewhat sarcastically, Donald Duck Slippers. Think about that name, Donald. Just think about that name. So he's got a smart-ass remark, this little Macaulay Culkin. Oh, what did my grandma get me? Donald Duck Slippers? Then his mum. Now, if you haven't seen this film for a while, or maybe you've never seen it, I'm sure you probably have seen it, a very popular film back in the day. But whether you've seen it or not, can you guess what the gift was for Christmas, I ponder, in this film where we will later see a Donald, not a Donald Duck, but a Donald Trump. So the first words out of this kid's head is, what, Donald Duck Slippers? Do you want to guess what the present was, folks? Why, it's a clown, an inflatable clown for him to enjoy while he's at the pool in Florida, because that's where the family was going. Of course, Macaulay got split up from the family, and then where did he end up? Oh yeah, New York. Okay, so it's an inflatable clown to enjoy at the pool while in Florida. A giant inflatable bozo the clown. Now, Kevin complains that Christmas in Florida is not a real Christmas because they don't have real Christmas. This is all at the beginning of the film, folks. And then she says, oh, we can decorate palm trees instead. Now, what comes up next? The Plaza Hotel. And by the way, you can see how when I do screenshots for these film reviews and film analyses, I put the timestamp there. So you can see this is literally at the beginning of the film. The first few minutes, this is the first interaction we see between Macaulay Culkin and his mother, and it's happening in what's on TV. So literally just a few seconds after we hear the Donald reference, and then a clown, just a few seconds later, folks, I'm not making this up, oh, we see the Plaza, New York's most exciting hotel experience. Okay, that would of course be where Macaulay Culkin would meet Donald Trump. Are you with me? So at this point, probably a few of you are thinking, JLB, what are you trying to say here? Are you trying to say that they planted this reference to a Donald right next to a clown, right next to an advertisement for the hotel where Macaulay would meet Donald? Are you trying to say they planted all of this? No. But at the same time, I've got to admit, I'm very open-minded. So what I'm going to do is put a link in the comment section below to my 1 hour review. This took me hours and hours to prepare the notes and then to record it and then to edit it and to put out a very polished product. And so far the comments have been fantastic. This is my 1 hour review of Folie, That'll be the first link in the comment section below. The second link will be to Clown Towers, a piece that I wrote a couple of months ago now, where I went through what you've just seen, and that's just the tip of the iceberg, and so much more to do with what is with the clown references and Donald Trump and Robert De Niro, who starred in a huge clown film, a Joker film. Robert De Niro, the same guy who's saying that Trump's a clown, he's a clown, everyone thinks he's a clown. What is with the Donald and the clown? And again, I showed you folks, this is not just about movies or TV shows. Why was there an interest in clowns just before there was a vote for Donald and then an interest in predictive program? Are these things all coincidental, or is there something to be read here? Perhaps something to do with the meta-script, as some people call it. So I will link to Clowns on Trial. I'm very happy with this piece. Then I will link to Clown Towers, a written piece, a very detailed written piece, I have to say. Those are both for the members of johnthebond.com, for people who value the best material there is on the internet today, and are happy to pay just a few dollars to access it. But if you are not one of those people, here is a free podcast. I was fortunate enough to chat with Paul Stobbs, who wrote a book called The Nephilim Were Clowns, which sounds like a strange title for a book. Go and check this out. This is a 1 hour podcast. And I was very happy to speak to this guy. He had just released his book, and I think he released it at the perfect time, because right now, this energy, this interest, it's coming back. There's Folie has been released. Okay, the reviews aren't so good, but the clown motif, the clown archetype, has re-entered the collective consciousness, as some people might call it. So he and I spoke about this kind of thing, and so much more. This is a free podcast. That'll be the third link in the comments section below. And I want you to tell me, folks, let's go through this one more time. We have Lady Gaga, the lady who sang Bad Romance. That was the first single off the Fame Monster, this album over here. She just happens to be the love interest of the Joker in this sequel. Was that a so-called coincidence? What do you think? Is this all planned ahead? I want your opinion. We've got Robert De Niro saying he's a clown, he's a clown, he's a clown. Well, that was back in 2019. We have the sequel to that film right now, just a few weeks. It was released just a few weeks before the new presidential election where Donald Trump is running again. I showed you the Google Trends, clown and predictive programming right around the time that Trump was elected for the first time. Of course, we had the creepy clown sightings, again, just a few weeks before Donald Trump was elected for the first time. And then I showed you this, which I doubt anyone's shown you before. Donald is referenced, then we see the clown. Okay, what are Donald Duck slippers? Then we see the clown. Then we see the plaza where Macaulay Culkin will meet Donald Trump in Home Alone 2, Lost in New York. Have I completely lost my mind? Tell me in the comment section below and go and check those links. Clowns on Trial, a 1 hour video/audio presentation. Clown Towers, a very detailed written article. Took me a couple of days to put together. I'm very proud of that. And of course, Conversations with Paul Stobbs, the author of The Nephilim Were Clowns. Those links are in the comment section below, and hopefully your comments will be as well. John the Bond, 11 October 2024. Have yourselves a lovely day.
He was a clown. He was a clown in New York.
They don't take him serious. He looks like a clown, acts like a clown. Mussolini, Same thing. These guys, I don't know why, they look like clowns.